7th edition of the GJW Direct SailJuice Winter Series is complete, and we held the prize giving at the RYA Dinghy Show at Alexandra Palace in North London. Now, I probably don't need to tell you that this was the coldest winter in some years, so a huge congratulations to all those sailors who were brave enough to get out there and compete across at least one or more of the 7 events in the series. And an even bigger congratulations to those hardy souls who competed in all 7. Now, the first event took place back in November, and it was reigning Phantom National Champion Andy Cooch who dominated the Fernhurst Books Draycott Dash to become the early leader in this season's series. It was a light airs contest on Draycott water, which suited the slow and medium handicap boats, although the Great Lakes handicap numbers were certainly doing their work, with 13 different classes filling the top 13 places in this 92 boat fleet. So thanks again to Andrew Craig, who is chairman of the Great Lakes Group and who's come up with the most accurate set of handicap racing numbers in dinghy competition. A few years ago we might have seen as few as 2 classes taking the top 10, so to see 13 different types of boat fill the top places is a great advertisement for what the Great Lakes Group are now doing. Next up was the Datchet Flyer near Heathrow Airport, with Peter Gray, Richard Pepperdine and Simon Forbes racing their National 18 to victory in wintry weather at Datchet Water Sailing Club. Saturday was a light airs day, which suited the National 18 nicely, although unfortunately too much snow on the Sunday for racing to take place. So it meant that Peter's overnight lead stood and the National 18 won. Third event in the series takes place just after Christmas, and it's the furthest north of all the events. It's the Yorkshire Dales Brass Monkey, which takes place in an incredibly beautiful setting. That's if you can get to it. The weather was pretty awful this year, so well done to those that made it through the ice and the snow to get there. Now, this event was booked out weeks in advance, as it often is. So it was another competitive event, and this year it was won by local sailor Graham Tinsley from the host club. After 3 light air events so far in the GJW Direct SailJuice Winter Series, the Grafton Grand Prix delivered some big breeze action on a stormy Saturday at the end of December. Some of the winds were gusting as high as 30 knots. So of the 169 entries, only 73 actually took to the water for the racing. Now, for the second year running, the Fast Fleet was won by David White and John Sweet from the host club in a NACRA F18. In the medium handicap fleet, it was Stuart Jones from Datchet who sailed his contender to 3 straight bullets, and Fergus Barnum and Andy Hunter won the slow handicap in their GP14. Following the reluctant but necessary cancellation of the Bloody Mary for the first time in its 44-year history due to low water levels at Queen Mary Sailing Club a few weeks beforehand, King George Sailing Club in North London offered to step in with a replacement event at very short notice. Like the Bloody Mary, the Gallop was a single pursuit race, and it was won by Ben Schooling, who sailed his Musto skiff in a cold northerly breeze of 10 knots. Now, we've had so much great feedback about the reception the sailors received and how well the members of King George stepped up to the plate so quickly and with such great enthusiasm. So congratulations to Commodore Tony Cooper and all his team there who put together the King George Gallop for the very first time. But meanwhile, we're also looking forward to welcoming back the Bloody Mary to the series next winter after unfortunately missing out this season. The penultimate event in the series is the John Merricks Tiger Trophy, which takes place at Rutland Sailing Club in early February. Now, on the Saturday, unfortunately, it was too light for racing, but the sailors did have a great evening. It's an important part of the weekend, the Tiger Dinner, which takes place on the Saturday evening at Rutland Sailing Club, and this year 200 sailors enjoyed some of the usual bangers of mash, which was John Merrick's favourite meal. Now, all the profits from this weekend, including the entry fees, go towards the John Merricks Sailing Trust, which raises money for young up-and-coming sailors who want to succeed at the top level of the sport. And some of the past beneficiaries include the reigning 49er world champions at the moment, Dylan Fletcher and Stu Bithell, who both received awards in different years, some 10 or more years ago. Now, on the Sunday, after little wind the day before, it was actually very windy, so it suited the fireballs down to the ground, not least Ian Dobson and Richard Wagstaff, who raced their fireball to overall victory in the 127 boat fleet.
You won something last year. You really turned up and beat all the amateurs at the Tiger Trophy. But thanks for joining us. You're one of the trustees of the John Merricks Sailing Trust. So tell us about that. The series this year, and also obviously the Tiger Trophy is raised £1,500 in support of part of the entry fees towards that. Just tell us what the John Merricks Sailing Trust does for sailing this way.
Thanks, Andy, and great to see so many people here. It was all looking a bit touch and go yesterday morning, but so I'll put my John Merricks Sailing Trust hat on. The Tiger Trophy obviously is a very special event for us because Johnny actually was the first winner of that event, and next year is the 25th anniversary of that event. And sadly this year is the 20th anniversary of Johnny's tragic accident in Italy at the Melges 24 Europeans, where he passed away in a car crash. And ever since then we've been raising money and putting that money to good use to help junior sailing programs, buying boats for clubs, for Sea Scout groups, but also importantly supporting individuals like John himself, who had a lot of support when he was growing up at Rutland, in order to help make the step up, in his case from a mirror to a 420 and eventually to a 470, where I was lucky enough and Andy also did a lot of sailing with Johnny back in the day. So we reinvest that money. We put a lot of smiles on a lot of young people's faces. I'm hoping to see several of them here today. I have the nice job of writing to them to tell them when they've won an award, and it's really thanks to all the money that you good folk help us raise at these events. The Tiger Trophy every year raises several £1,000s for the John Merricks Trust, and obviously every bit of money goes to a good cause. We're not a professional organisation, we're volunteer run, we do our best, and like I say, we put a few smiles on a few young faces, so hopefully support a few champions in the future too.
Okay. And thanks very much, because we actually have a special donation that we did for the Merricks Trust. Part of the entry fee goes from the Rutland, but also several £100 we actually raised for you guys folks here to go to the Merricks Trust. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate you making the time because you're a busy boy today.
The final event in the series was the Oxford Blue, and there were 4 sailors all in with a serious chance of winning the series overall. Now, nerves appeared to show in the first race in light winds at Farmore Reservoir, with Alistair Goodwin in the Laser, Ben Schooling, Musto Skiff and Andrew Snell in the K1 Keelboat all scoring their worst scores in the opening race. The series leader going into the event and winner of the pre-event online poll to predict the overall winner, Alistair Goodwin got into his stride to rattle off 2 bullets and won the Oxford Blue. Now, we've got a number of smaller series within the overall series, so let's just give you a rundown of what happened there.
The Allen Performance Challenge looks to acknowledge those sailors making the most progress towards the front of the fleet in every race, using statistical analysis based on trend across each of the races and corrected times. In the overall rankings for the Allen Performance Challenge, it was Ian Morgan in the D0 who was third, with Colin and Ollie Murray from Norfolk Punt from Olswater in second, and the overall winner was Richard Botting in the Blaze from Draycott Water Sailing Club. The Dinghy Rope Top Class Award is based on the best 3 results from each class across every race. For the 2017-18 series, there was a very close battle between defending champions the Laser class, the Solos and the Radials, with the Solos winning out in the end, the Lasers second and the Radials third. With Andrew Dowley, the MD of Dinghy Rope and now Sailing Chandlery, was on hand to present the prizes.
So in third place, the solo class.
It was great to see so many ladies competing this winter as part of the Gull Top Lady Rankings, with Mike Pickering, the MD of Gull, coming along to present the prizes at the RYA Dinghy Show.
Some familiar names, a bit of swapping order, but in third place we have Val Millard, the challenger from Rutland Sailing Club. Okay. In second place, last year's winner, looks like she was going to win, but slightly missed out in the last event. Oliver Prey, Dribble Water. Sorry? And in first place, I don't think she's here, she's stuck in the West Country. Emma Stevenson sailing Osprey. So, why don't we push on the youth and juniors? Thank you to GJW for finding some contribution to it. Give us a discounted entries over multiple ones, which I think encourage you up there. The youth and juniors have done very well here, and I think we've seen a bit of resurgence in the youngsters coming out, something that we certainly want to encourage in the future. A chance to sort of experience the joys of adult sailing and lifelong sailing. So third place was the graduate of Hamilton Road. And great to see the graduates out there. I can see more. In second place, and actually the first junior, so it's actually been great to see a growth in the number of youth sailors, but also a bit of a growth in the junior sailors, who actually the next feet coming through. George Sunderland from Ultramare, I think it is, in the later over. How many events have you competed? 5. So again, the key is that getting out there and competing. So you enjoy it? Yeah, I really enjoy it. Great to see you. Great to see you all weekend. And in first place, last year's winner, George Cole with the laser. I think they're the name for all the other trophy winners.
Speed 6 Challenge, now in its second year, saw the data from the SailRacer GPS tracker taken to find out who was the fastest over the 4 events, both on corrected and actual times. Despite some of the light winds experienced over the 4 tracked events, some of the faster boats were regularly seeing sustained speeds in double figures.
All thanks to John Carter. In second place, and regular winners of the Speed 6 Challenge, Ralph and Sophie Singleton of the RSA 800 from Datchet. Over here, again, I know regular in this competition is the Mustang skipper Ben Scully.
One of the things we've been running in parallel with the usual scoring under the Great Lakes handicapping is an experimental form of scoring that we call dynamic handicapping, and it's my co-organiser on the SailJuice Winter Series, Simon Lovesey, who's been developing the process. So Simon, for those that aren't familiar with dynamic handicapping, which I think is probably most of us, what is it and how does it work?
Well, what we're trying to do is use the data that we're collecting from the GPS trackers, and there's a lot of data, remember it's on a sort of a leg by leg, lap by lap basis, to analyse the performance of each class across those different legs, and to really try and work out what the handicap should be based on sort of historic values. So it sort of follows the logic of when there's strong winds, the faster boats tend to pick up and sell the handicaps, and in the lighter winds, the slower boats tend to perform better. So what we're trying to do is trying to even out some of that sort of deficiencies that you see across different wind strengths, and really give everyone a chance in every race, regardless of what boat they're sailing and what wind conditions that we're seeing.
Okay, so you ran it in a few of the events during the 2017-2018 series, and there was some similarities with the Great Lakes scoring, the official scoring, but there were some differences. What was sort of your anecdotal observations from running it for the first time?
Well, we ran it in 4 of the events, which were all of the lighter conditions. And in those events, it was the boats like the Fireball, the 420s, the Challengers were struggling. They need a good breeze to pick up. And what we were able to do is to really look back in history of all the performance data we have, and to see that the Fireball would be given a handicap that would be a bit more sort of fair in those conditions. So what we saw is probably still similar results with boats like the Solos and Phantoms still being up there. But boats like the Fireball, particularly people like Ian Dobson, having a better chance in the lighter winds. So I think it started to prove what we felt that was there, that in the lighter winds, that the faster boats who need a good breeze could be given a chance on handicap.
And then presumably vice versa in the strong winds, not that we had an opportunity to see dynamic handicapping in operation this particular winter in strong winds, but presumably if the fireballs are given a leg up in light winds on their dynamic handicap, they'd also be pegged back in the stronger winds.
That's right, and we've got a few historic races which are stronger winds, and we see that happening where the slower boats get the advantage in the stronger winds, and I think that's what we're aiming to do, is to really sort of even out any sort of advantages or disadvantages that particular wind strengths bring to certain classes.
Well, Simon, thank you very much. It's been an interesting experiment so far, and we look forward to seeing more dynamic handicapping in future series.
Based on the 3 best results from each club across every race, the Trident Top Club Award was hotly contested this year, with 55 clubs achieving a ranking. In the end, the battle came back down to 3 clubs closely fought out, with previous winners Burfield battling it out with defending champions Datchet, but ultimately it was Rutland Sailing Club who put up the best score to take the award Trident Top Club for 2017-2018. With several class associations using the SailJuice Winter Series as part of their own Winter Series, we were able to produce extractive results for many of them.
Now for the overall top 10 finishers in the GJW Direct SailJuice Winter Series. In 10th place was an RS Aero 9 sailed by Chris Lahr from Northampton Sailing Club. In 9th, an Osprey from Weymouth sailed by Emma Stevenson, crewed by Tim Bowden. In 8th, a 505 crewed by former Fireball World Champion Tom Gillard and crewed by Harry Bridden from Sheffield Viking Sailing Club. In 7th place, the father and daughter team of Ralph and Sophie Singleton representing Datchet Water in their RS 800 skiff. In 6th place, a D0 sailed by Ian Morgan from Netley Sailing Club. In 5th, a Laser sailed by Ben Flower from Pollysteps Quay. In 4th place, the top double-hander, Phil Meekins and various crews throughout the series, sailing the Osprey from Warsash Sailing Club. In 3rd place, and just missing out on the overall win, Musto Skiff, sailed by Ben Schooling from Stokes Bay. In 2nd place, and a man who led for much of the series, Andrew Snell, who raced his K1 keelboat from ASA. And the overall winner, and first time ever winner in a Laser, was Alistair Goodwin from Havisham Sailing Club.
Is Alistair Goodwin? So, congratulations. Lasers have done pretty well in the past, but this is the first time that a Lasers actually managed to win the overall series. What for you were the key moments that you felt you did particularly well throughout the 7 events?
I felt like the key moments when the Laser benefited at these events was being able to get off the starts cleanly and quickly, and also getting in and out of tight arm limits, because you can just get in and avoid having to go the long way around.
And you've been in the youth squad, you've sailed with the senior squads as well, done a little bit of sailing with them, but you've decided in the meantime, in the short term at least, to get a proper job, is that right?
Yes, that is right, yeah. Thanks to my dad for all these years, but I think I do need to start paying my way.
But you're obviously taking your sailing pretty seriously. What relevance does racing around with 80 or 100 different types of boats around all the crazy courses that we have, what relevance does that have when you take it back into standard one design laser racing?
I think it means that you have to spend more time thinking ahead and planning for markets, because there's so many of the boats, particularly quicker boats, coming in quickly, and you just have to be aware of when they're going to arrive.
And coming into Oxford, you, I'm sure, were well aware that you were one of 4 boats that had a serious chance of winning. It was extremely close on points. I don't know if there's any special tactics you can bring to bear in handicap racing, but what was going through your mind?
I was thinking of maybe doing the old Benesi tactic of slowing people down, but ultimately I don't think being in a different fleet of Venezuela, I thought I'm just going to have to sail conservatively and try and do the best I could on results.
Alistair, congratulations, and you're talking about coming back again, perhaps in a different type of boat in the future?
Certainly, I'm always up for sailing different types of boats. Yeah, sure. I'd definitely like to do the series again.
Well, if you won't mention the other boat, I won't. So anyway, we hope to see you back in whatever boat that may be. Thanks very much, Alistair, and congratulations. Yeah. Cheers.
So thanks to GJW Direct, who have been the title sponsor for the past 6 seasons of the series, and we're proud to have helped raise the company's profile in the UK dinghy scene. So we've been on the hunt for a new sponsor over the past month, and we're very happy to say that we found a new title sponsor, and next year's series will be called the SailJuice Winter Series. Now, it's really exciting to welcome Selden on board as our new sponsor. Like our previous title sponsor, GJW Direct, Selden have been smart enough to spot the almost unrivaled opportunity to reach the full breadth of the dinghy racing scene through just this one series. Selden make masts and equipment for nearly every boat that competes in the series, yet with almost 100 different racing classes competing at our events, it would be an enormous task to build any kind of meaningful connection with all of those fleets. So this series creates the ability to reach all those classes in one go. Added to that is the fact that there is not much other racing going on during the winter months, so the series has become the place to get in some really high quality competition. And even for those that don't actually brave the weather to compete, we get a large following through the series website and also on social media, because people want to know how their friends and family are faring out there on the water in the cold months. Selden have come in at an exciting time for this series. My co-organiser Simon Lovesey and I can barely believe that we're already closing in on the 10th anniversary, and we're working on some developments that we believe will one day take handicap racing to an even more interesting place than it is today.
But the 10th anniversary, it's a special one, and we're going to be doing some special things. We've also got a new sponsor coming on board, so if Steve Norbury could just join us up on stage. Next year, the series will be called the SailJuice Winter Series, and we're very pleased to have Selden on board. Thanks very much, Steve. So, Steve, you're a competitor in the series as well, the RS area.
Yeah, that's right. So I've done a few of the series, and what really strikes me is the variation in the number of people that are competing, and the clubs that it goes to, and the classes that it brings in. And it's all about participation, and I think that the SailJuice is really important in bringing people and classes and clubs together and increasing the participation in the sport. And I think I would like to thank GJW for promoting the event the last few years. They've done a fantastic job. Gratitude for doing that, and it's a great pleasure that Selden can take that forwards. And I hope that next year is a great year and we have a lot more competitors.
Steve, thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you in the coming year and hopefully beyond. So thank you very much for joining us. We're really pleased with how season 9 has gone. Congratulations to Alistair Goodwin again, but also to all the competitors, and particularly those that turned out for multiple events. So thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing a lot of you out on the cold, chilly waters next winter for the Selden SailJuice Winter Series. Thank you.